you think of like a city, each city have its own currency, right? So rather than selling shares in the city, or maybe the currency can represent shares, but like then you enter the city and the currency is accepted for all the goods and services within the city, right? So they're now talking about like some countries had to get off the euro or want to get off the euro because of the euro sovereign debt crisis or some other things. We've got cities in the United States that went bankrupt, like Detroit, because they couldn't get enough dollars to sustain like their economy. Like, what do you think of having your own currency in the city as well?
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, you know, and there's the City Coins project that Balaji is an investor of. I think, I don't know. I think I tend to favor like everyone using like a small number of hard currencies. And I actually want to see us like move even like off hard currencies and onto things like using shares of index funds to pay for things so that you're holding your wealth in like a form that's an investment, right? That's like producing value and growing. That's, you know, me personally, but I do think that like tokenizing cities in the sense of like, I think it's a good thing for the citizens of a city to also, like the employees, have some stake in the city and how it does, right? Maybe you make a requirement that people who live there, like maybe you have to keep 10% of your savings up to some like cap in like equity in the city, right? So that every citizen who's there also benefits. I mean, we've seen this with crypto, right? Where you have the early token holders, the more people they bring in, like the more total amount of value people want to store in that token, the more the token is worth, like as we see with Bitcoin. So the token holders are like incented to like build the value of the token, represent it well, and bring more people in. Like, why can't we have that for cities too?
I think we absolutely can. I think this is right. I think the frontier is digital twins of cities online. A lot of people, like in Roatan, they won't be able to necessarily be there physically, right? I've got commitments in New York. I've got commitments in Puerto Rico or in Europe. I can't always be there. So I think a lot of times people are now looking at, especially after the pandemic, right? They're looking at these sort of online virtual communities. And companies like Meta, you know, they're laying off a lot of people. They took a big gamble. But the idea that you got to start creating robust alternatives, right? Actually, I want to do this. I'm going to go and change my camera to an avatar just to show what's starting to be possible. So again, this is not Facebook. This is Ready Player Me avatars. Intercoin. I know the CEO of Ready Player Me, and we've partnered with them and a bunch of other people to start exploring this. But the idea is that yes, these are virtual worlds, and yes, you probably should get exercise and like get off your butt, and meet people in real life and not just be there, like in that movie Surrogates. But like, I think that ultimately more and more hours are going to be spent on these things, and it does have a certain benefit. You don't have to actually be in the office. You don't have to commute. You don't have to smell smelly armpits of people on the way. And so, do you think that each of these cities would benefit from having an online component, from having an online currency maybe, or an online?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one proposal I've seen that I think is really neat, like, so imagine you're in the network state phase and you don't have your city yet, but maybe you create like a digital twin for the master plan in the metaverse. And then people can start like picking their lots, their units, getting to know their neighbors, right? And, if there's going to be a store somewhere, right, you could make it so that you could actually like go there and buy things. Just like making the digital twin and then having the network state, like that's the space where like you walk around and meet the people who you're going to be living with, before you actually build. Like, I think that's a really cool idea.